Okay, I think that we are officially live,
Awesome.
and just gonna wait for this to click right in, and we are live. And I want to welcome
Woohoo.
to Queen Lauren Emily Searles. Yeah, this woman is a little firecracker queen. I'm just going to introduce her. Lauren Searles is a tantric love and sex coach for evolutionary men and women who have the desire to thrive in love. By empowering change makers to embody their true heart radiance, Lauren shows her clients how to transmute their deepest pain into their greatest gifts. Hell yeah. By learning how to gently hold and meet one's own subconscious wounds and blocks, they naturally begin to transform and release. So you can truly be intimate with yourself, your life experience, and your chosen divine lover. Lauren has studied with the late Salma Zadora, Christopher Wallace, and holds her coaching certification under Layla Martin. Yeah, so welcome, Lauren. And I want to give thanks to Lauren because Lauren has been here, like helping me behind the scenes, just stepping in and being like, Shezza, you got to do this, you got to do that. I kind of like to be a bottom.
Amazing.
A lot here, but I love it when like a queen comes in and is like, Shezza. So she's definitely yeah, made this a much better summit through her magic and her devotion. So thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Shezza.
Yeah, and okay, so she is talking today on awakening your true embodied presence. And so what does that mean? What does awakening to your true power mean?
Yeah, so I feel like this speech is in kind of two parts. There's like, what is your true power? And then what is embodied presence? And so I'm going to combine those two throughout this talk. And so what does true power mean to me? And I believe that true power comes when are accessed, and then we can take action and desire in accordance to our true essence. So then we become like more aligned and integrated. And when we're aligned and integrated, it brings us more freedom. And when we have more freedom, we have more choices and we have more access to our power.
I'm sorry, your internet is a little slow. There was like
oh
part. What did you say it was? Like when you hit the nugget and then you said like all the great things that came out of it, but could you repeat that? But
yeah, hopefully my Wi-Fi holds up. It has been spotty all day. So we're doing our best here.
Okay.
So yeah, I believe that true power comes when we're deeply linked with our essence nature.
Our essence.
Or our true self. And okay. So I could go into even means. But when we're aligned with our essence nature and we have access to it, we can make decisions from that place, and it brings us more freedom and choice.
Beautiful. And what is our essence?
Yeah. So I come from both like the classical Tantra tradition and modern somatic psychology, and they actually both have very similar goals, and that's to decondition the self so we can access our true essence, our original self. It could be looked at as the inner child, but it's the part of us that we were born with, and that's eternal and that cannot actually be harmed. So it's indestructible. It can kind of be looked at as the soul, but it's a little bit more of like your personality. It's like you are distinctly Shezza. Like there's qualities about you that nobody else is, and the way you speak, the way you move, right? There's something distinctly Lauren that nobody else is, but we're taught through, our family, society, school, media to shut parts of ourself down. And then we have this kind of covering or shadow over our true self because it's not safe to be free. It's not safe to freely express. It's not safe to be loud. It's not safe to run around naked if we want to. So we've learned ways to kind of hide and dampen and obstruct our true essence. And these practices in classical Tantra and somatic psychology, they liberate our conditioning. They liberate the shadow self so that we can actually come in contact with it. And it's actually like a visceral felt sense reality when we're living with in alignment with our true self.
I love it. I'm so on board. This is so much of what I am here on the planet for myself. So I love being around another wild woman who has such a similar mission, but we're all both very different.
Yeah.
As you said, we both have our own unique essence. So, yeah, beautiful. So when we are in touch, like, how does it feel? I mean, for me, it just feels more like there's this flow coming. So it's like when you're in alignment with your essence, your gifts are just flowing through. What you're meant to be doing is just very obvious. And you just feel this kind of flow in your being. And when you're not in your flow, and when you're having the contraction, you can step back and just know, okay, I'm now how to get back home into that. So that's how I'm seeing it. I'd love to hear how you view it.
Yeah, actually very, very similarly. I mean, there's never a point when we're not, it's kind of like to the degree to which we're aligned with ourselves, right? It's like we're never completely shut off or disconnected, but it's like, to what degree are we able to access ourselves? And I do resonate a lot with the sense of flow and ease, like easefulness. There's this flow state that happens when we're living with our original essence or our true self. It's like things just flow out of us. And it's a really joyful experience, but we also come back to the embodied presence. We become more embodied and we become more awake and aware in the way that we even experience life, like the way that we perceive and see the world. We can actually take in more beauty, and we can feel more sensuality. We can have more access to our sexuality and our eroticism, and we just literally come more alive. Like it's just this voltage that's like it just opens up, and we're like, cool, I'm online. And you know, it's not to say that you don't take periods of rest, you don't take care of yourself, and you don't have times where you dip down and you allow those emotions too. So it's also kind of like embodied presence is also your ability to be with what is. It's like, can I be with the down slope? Can I be with myself when I'm really high, but not attach myself to either one?
I want to go back to something you said in your bio, which is it's such a deep yes for me, which is that I can't remember the words you used, but the deepest pain into your greatest gifts, and how this is somehow that pain is what opens us into this essence. Are you there, Lauren? Where's Lauren?
Yeah. We cut out.
This is just what we're
spotty. Yeah. So yeah, the deepest pain into our greatest gift. And I went through a really heartbreaking breakup about 3 years ago, and that was one of my deepest pains. And it catalyzed inside of me my ability to heal myself and to really dig deep into who I am and to find the inner resource. Like so much of what I do is inner resourcing. It's like, ooh, I can't get that from that person anymore, but can I get it from me? And can I give myself that love that I was seeking outside of myself? Because so much of our pain and our pain body is I have to get this from somebody else. I have to get it from a guru, a teacher, a pastor, a religion, or something. And like, yes, you can get it from the divine, but it doesn't always come from a human. And so what it allowed me to do is be this inner resource, like be this inner wellspring for myself, and like hold myself. And when I tuck into bed, I just go, okay, Lauren, I love you so much. Like, good night. I'm holding you and I feel you. And so it's like this felt sense of coming home to yourself. And that's really what heals you. And your body loves to heal. Your body knows how to heal. If it's under the right conditions and you're like, okay, I am holding my consciousness in this part and I'm just going to witness this resource flooding in, your body knows what to do. Like your body is masterfully intelligent, and it likes to be, like, this is a big word, it likes to be enlightened. It likes to wake up. It likes to feel good. And so if we just turn our attention and our awareness slightly towards the feeling good, the body goes, it perks up. It starts to seeing the cells come alive. And so that cellular aliveness is kind of hinting towards that embodied presence. It's like, ooh, can I bring through my conscious awareness down and into the body? And that's the deeper access that I'm talking about. Like it's not always this up and out, we seek so many high experiences like ayahuasca, LSD, mushrooms, like we seek these big gnosis experiences, but we don't integrate them back into the body in like a lived, conscious, aware way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And God, there were like so many nuggets just in that little piece you just said. So what I feel is that the more that we're living through as ourselves, the more that it's like just the little things are beautiful. So I know that you and I are both in this quarantine situation, as all the people, we're all here.
Yeah.
This is such a great time for us all to practice this presence and practice. I was saying on my morning practice making things more juicy, just the little mundane things, so that brushing your teeth can become an ecstatic experience of essence. And so what are some ways that you like to tap into this essence? What are some of your
Yeah, so I'm going to go slightly back and call that like the way that I like to tap into embodied presence. And then maybe it'll link back through to your essence nature. So actually, like the very first thing, I'll actually answer your question directly, to tap into your essence nature is to heal your core wounds, or at least bring awareness to them and start to heal from your societal conditioning and the blockages and the shame and the fear and just like the weird beliefs that we have around being embodied. Like it's just we have so much societal shame just around bodies in general. It's like, wow, my ass jiggles, great, awesome, like can we celebrate that? Or is that like, oh my god, her ass is so jiggly? Like, we just shame these very natural inherent things.
And I want to say that I saw a Facebook video of you jiggling your ass the other day. I was like, oh my god.
Yes. Twerking has been my new pastime in quarantine. I taught myself how to twerk like a week ago, and I was like, it is addicting. I can't stop shaking my ass. It's so fun.
Thank you for sharing it with us. So what would you say is the core wound of humanity?
Yeah, so I believe the core wound is that we're just separated from divinity. Like we don't feel our natural inherent wholeness, and we see ourselves separate. But then the way that can kind of look in our belief system is like, I'm unlovable, I'm not good enough, I'm too much, I'm not accepted for who I really am. And so these beliefs kind of form a larger fracture inside of us. And it usually happens like there's some core seed belief that happens at a young age. And then it forms our whole brain and our whole construct for the next 20, 30 years of our life, unless we bring awareness to it, unless we start to shine a light into our shadow and our wound. And, you know, that starts to, you know, cause a lot of pain and frustration. And it doesn't allow us to have like healthy, thriving relationships, because we're always looking to resolve that core wound in relationship, not really seeing and taking responsibility for it. We're like, hey, you, my partner, you heal my core wound for me. You look like you kind of resemble my father. Like, can you love me unconditionally? And then we throw it on our partners and it doesn't work at all.
At all. Can you just be God, please?
Yeah, can you just be my godfather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of a relationship, it can certainly feel sometimes like this person is God, especially if you're having super hot sex. So you just think that, and then when it starts to not be all that you're wanting it to be, which is this full God experience, that's when the pain and the drama begins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like our fall from grace. We are in this beautiful love bubble, like the honeymoon phase. And then this thing happens where we start to see each other's shadow. And then we kind of go like, well, what do I do now? Like, then that becomes all the projections and the arguments and the pain. And without, you know, awareness, and sometimes like we need coaches, like we need therapists, we need guides to hold us through this, because we don't always have the training to see our own blockages. Like we don't always have the capacity to really see on a deep level what's actually going on.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been in the healing arts for 20 years. I've been doing this kind of work for a very long time, and I still have my people that I go to when something's off, and I still have my regular RTT sessions. And it was interesting. I do rapid transformational hypnotherapy, and I went back my last session. I went back to the original moment that I left the divine.
Yeah.
And I have felt such a difference. And I have never gone back to that moment before, when I was like, hold on a second, I'm suddenly like born and I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this world. And so there was a sense of in me that hasn't wanted to be. So I want to talk to you, ask you about how you help people to awaken their true power and come home to their embodied presence.
Yeah. So I want to just rewind just a minute and kind of just define, so people understand like what is embodied presence, because we're talking a lot about the essence, which is really close.
Okay.
So yeah, our embodied presence is like coming home to the totality of our being. And like I said, it's like bringing our conscious awareness and our presence like down and into the body, because we can look at presence as like, yeah, I'm present, you know, like I'm focused, which is kind of a neocortex frontal lobe action in the brain. But embodied presence is like using your whole brain. It's getting back into the primal brain, the limbic brain, and it's bringing whole integration between all of your parts. And then similarly, like your brain, your heart, your groins, your sexual energy, your belly. And it's like, ooh, am I awake in my heart? Am I awake in my belly, in my womb? Am I aware in my mind? And are all three, in Tantra, we call them bindus, or all three bindu centers, kind of like the primary chakras in the body, are they all like vibrating and awake and communicating with each other? It's like, is my head talking to my heart? Is my heart connected to my womb, or in, you know, male's case, their cock or their sexual energy? And often they're not talking to each other and they're not integrated. So like what we desire in our heart isn't always what we desire in our sexuality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've been taught to be disconnected. Like we've taught like, this is my brain and this is my mind. And especially male Western culture, I think women are slightly more leaning towards embodiment because we bleed every month. We're built slightly differently. We run on estrogen and not testosterone. So like an estrogen dominant being inherently feels more. And a testosterone dominant being inherently feels less. And so men have to work just a little bit harder to feel, like to go down and into the body and really feel like what is actually happening here and not turn off the emotions. And so embodied presence is being present with your entire experience of being alive. And that includes your emotions, that includes your anger, your rage, your heartbreak, and being able to hold yourself in that experience.
Yes to that. That is the key.
Yeah, it's so big. And I'm having, it's kind of been the theme with my clients the last couple of weeks, is just like they have succeeded in their life by cutting off their capacity to feel and to be vulnerable because they're so achievement oriented. And it's like, I don't have to feel anything. Like I just look like a very highly functioning man, and they get rewarded for that behavior. And so they just like keep going and they keep getting paid and they keep being successful, but they've left 90% of their body behind and their emotional feeling capacity that actually brings them like true happiness, true satisfaction, intimacy, partnership, like thriving sexuality. And so this is a really important piece for thriving, not only with yourself, but like in relationship to who you want to be in relationship with. And we all need intimacy. Like we all need to feel loved.
And it has to begin with creating that relationship with ourselves and being more tapped into our essential nature.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. So is there anything it's just bringing our consciousness into our body and feeling. I loved what you said about sometimes what we want sexually is not what the heart wants, and that was a big lesson for me years ago. I had to learn around having sex with someone who my body was like a total yes, heart not a yes. So really knowing like when you want to have sex with someone, as well as any other time, like all decisions need to be made through lining up all the centers.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And there's so many other practices that can ground people into embodied presence. It's an endless exploration. So like you were mentioning, what was the last one you just said?
Like lining up the heart, tuning in with the mind, tuning in with the heart, and turning into the sex. And are they all in agreement?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Another one of my favorites, it's literally just grounding. It's literally like laying down in your bed and letting your body relax and receiving the ground, like feeling the sensation of your body touching, the bed, whatever surface you're on, but also breathing the earth into your body. It's like a lot of it has to do with activating your parasympathetic nervous system, because we can either be on like the edge of our seats and like, I have to do this thing. But as soon as we sit back, our body kind of just goes, yeah, I can just like receive this moment. I can just relax and source my energy from the earth more than this like kind of manic, like, I have to do this. And, both are useful in different circumstances, but it's healthier overall to be in a parasympathetic nervous system state. And of course, you talk a lot about the breath. Breath is a huge gateway avenue And there's this tantric Vajrayana practice that I just found on these audios, and it's called somatic descent. And it's like hundreds of hours of practice of going down and into the body. And the practices are so simple yet so complex in the same way. And you actually realize that infinity is found in the body. You're like, oh yeah, I've heard them say, as above, so below, but I didn't really know what that meant yet until I started doing these somatic descent processes and accessing these little like secret gateways in the body that open up to little universes, and then they open up to the bigger universe, and then you pretty much just realize like I'm an infinite being connected to the universe. And it's a really trippy experience, especially because I think it just cut out.
You're good. You're back.
Okay, cool. My path lately, because I haven't been able to do like high peak experiences due to health, is like, wow, like how trippy can my experience get without drugs, like without substance, without even plant medicine? It's like I can achieve and investigate my psyche without the assistance of another, influence.
Yeah, and the breath is definitely very trippy way to get in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of men specifically, why are women craving this so deeply in men?
Aw. Yeah. I have a firm belief that women most crave a man's embodied presence. Like we say, oh, I really love it when a man is present with me, but I think we're even asking like a step deeper. We're asking him to be supple and still strong in his masculinity, but like when he's in his embodied presence, he's vulnerable and he's open and he can feel and he's sensitive, and he's offering like that suppleness of his heart and his body to us. And so it's kind of like it is a somatic connection. It is two bodies connecting, but in this like really beautiful, sensitive, kind of delicate way. And I believe that's what's really nourishing and nurturing to our feminine systems. And of course, yeah, from that beautiful somatic heart-based connection, yeah, we can go into explosive sexuality. We can go into primal sex and crazy sex and all these things. But that connection, that primary embodied safe connection, it allows our nervous systems to relax. And our nervous systems have an infinite capacity. So we think, oh yeah, I'm relaxed. Yeah, I'm connected. It's like you can connect 10 times deeper. You can go 10 times further because they're actually, I haven't found the limit of my nervous system yet. Like I haven't found the like, this is it. This is as much as you can feel. You're cut off, Lauren. Like, all right, go home. Like you reach the end. It's like, it's an infinite instrument that we can play. And so safety is the base, I feel like the base core need for women in intimacy. And so if a man is embodied and he's present with us, we can feel safe. And the depth of safety, again, it's an infinite depth. It goes so, so, so deep. And the more safe that we feel, the more we can open. The more our heart's going to open, the more our crown's going to open. We're going to open up to these higher dimensions of sex. And I believe that core connection with an embodied partner is so important.
Yes. Yum.
It's delicious. Yeah.
And again, like all the other speakers are saying, like, and it begins with creating that safety in our own being. Just like
Absolutely.
it's like first opening up with yourself and then being able to open with someone else or multiple people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to resource your own safety is absolutely incredible. But I also know like how intuitive female nervous systems are. And we can sense like the tiniest little thing and we're like, nope, we're not safe, because our amygdalas are larger. Like we have a larger fear response in our brain than men. And we're kind of in that way. It's almost like we're the part of the tribe that keeps the tribe safe, because our amygdala goes off quicker. And so, but we also have these like fine-tuned intuition. So there can be times when you're like with a lover, but you're like, it's just not quite, it's not quite it. And that's not the time to resource your own safety and be like, well, I should just feel safe inside my being and da da da. It's like, no, you have to trust the intuition. Like, yes, you come as a safe, whole, integrated being, but at the same time with a partnership, you also have to trust that you might not be safe. And there might be a really good reason that your intuition is telling you like, not, not today. Like it's not aligned,
Again, tapping into your intuition, your heart, and your sex, and making sure you're all on board. Beautiful.
Yeah, love.
This was amazing, and certainly taps into a lot of what I love talking about, teaching about, is just living from our true authentic self, that essence of who we are. And then I feel like that's what the world needs more than anything else. Anything else is us to be us.
Yes.
And when everybody is collectively shedding the shame, shedding the belief systems, shedding the old paradigms, and really living as their essential nature, well, that's when our world is going to be just so transformed into heaven on earth. And it's a massive process that all of us are going through. And so also just being available to enjoy the journey, enjoy the pain as well, and knowing that that pain is also leading to the gifts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. The darkest night is before the dawn.
And even in the little moments, the pain that we have daily, just this is and just seeing like keep being with that and letting it unwind and unfurl so that our true self can really come on board and take over
Absolutely.
the show. Yeah. Well, Lauren, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I'm primarily on Facebook. So if you go to my page, I have a little link on my little profile thing, and it has my website. I also have an upcoming 3-day men's breathwork challenge that starts tomorrow. So you can just message me or join the link on my profile. And I talk to you to just start a conversation.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much for being
here. Thank you, love.
Thank you for standing up for the summit and being, there for me, and being just a beautiful light of just, I feel like your joy is just so on tap these days, and you're just coming alive in so many ways. It's beautiful, because I remember when you went through that crazy breakup a few years ago. But it was wonderful to witness you just being really vulnerable, that you were just in the total dark night of the soul, and just also witnessing you now just being so vibrant and alive and ecstatically alive.
Yes. I'm definitely ecstatically alive, and twerking helps a lot.
I know. I feel it, babe. You're amazing. So thank you all for being here so much. And keep going. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.